What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Celios Network. I just got back from the North American International Championships 2022 in Columbus, and I wanted to do a recap video on the event and my experience there. But first, shout out to my sponsors who help make my channel and my career and traveling and playing all possible. PotownStore.com, CardCheaperGames.com, Beast Coast Pokemon, PokemonCard.io, and Dragon Shield sleeves. Really happy to be representing um, all of these companies and websites. Okay, so NAIC 2022. If you've been following along on Twitter, I needed to get top 32 to secure a Worlds invite this year. That was a large placement to be shooting for at the North American International Championships, which is typically the largest event of the year. We had about 1,200 Masters, I believe. I think 1,180 something. And so I still needed a large amount, even though I had just day 2'd three regionals. The three regionals I went to post COVID. I came into post COVID with not that many. There was not that much CP. I didn't do a lot of League Cups and stuff. I will talk about the amount of events and how I think that's just kind of an excuse, because if you're good enough and you can circumvent the luck, and you can, if you work hard enough, I think you can just get that invite in the minimal amount of events that you go to. So I don't really like using that excuse that I didn't go to a lot of League Cups, because I could have got the invite. So with using this language, I'm kind of foretelling that I did not get my invite. So I finished with a record of 5-2-2 this weekend. I got top 256. I got some championship points, I think like 80 championship points. I did not day 2, so I did not get a shot at top 32. So I did not finish out my 500 championship points for the World's invite. I decided to play Arceus and Teleon again. I played Arceus and Teleon just last week, less than a week ago, between events at Milwaukee, where I got 33rd place, placing top 64. I changed up the list a bit. If you want to see my list, I ended up playing the same 60 as Steven Varesco, who finished in top 8, so that'll be on Limitless and everything, and also Ryan Antonucci and Tanner Hurley. So I had the same 60 as those guys, so you can see the list on there. I also tweeted it out as well. Going about my deck choice here, I wanted to stick to AI because I knew it well, and I know it was one of the best decks, if not the best deck in format. I would still stick with AI if I could go back and change my list, but my teammate Michael Perez, who placed 12th, he played a more consistency-based version of AI that we had put a lot of discussion into, and he really stuck to the consistency version. And that really came about because we agreed that it felt like most games where we could just bench Arceus and attach energy, we were winning most of those games. And Michael really took this theory and put it into practice, and it worked. So I was really proud of him for sticking to that, and getting the top 16 finish. Unfortunately, I think he needed to either like get second or win the event to get his invite, because he had not played a lot either. But top 16 was a really nice breakout performance for Michael, and also his list was really good. Now, I do think the list I played had a higher ceiling of potential. It had double Pal Pad and double Ordinary Rod, which was just better for Charons and Arceus mirror matches, and then also getting the energy back that you need to use those extra Charons for the Trinity Novas in succession, but also Ordinary Rodding to get around the Echoing Horns that Palkias and Muse, if they weren't already playing, would probably be putting back into their decks to counter Duraludon. So the extraordinary rods also would help with Echoing Horn in theory. But I don't really regret my deck choice, because seeing Tanner and Ryan get top 16 and top 32, I forget if Tanner was 16 or 32, and then Steven get top 8 with the same list. I know the list had potential. It really came down to my last match for me. I was 5-1-2. A couple of the ties hurt, Couldn't really do much about playing against Palkia and Inteleons, and then, you know, the Inteleon engine takes some time. Some players were slower than others. Can't do too much about those ties in the Inteleon engine mirror matches. But it really came down to the last one against an Arceus Inteleon with the Dark package. I won like a 30-minute plus game one, because I had 6 Charons thanks to 2 Pal Pads, and my opponent only had a maximum of 4 Charons with the typical 1 Pal Pad. And so I was able to win due to the extra Charons. And earlier in the day, if I won a long game one in the mirror, I was able to just stall out the game in game two by playing more control oriented. Like even just sending up Arceuses without energy, even just take a hit and Charon it again, and just make my opponent go through too many resources to take knockouts to the point where the game went on without them reaching a win condition. I was not able to do that in my final round. I drew too poorly in game two, scooped it up to go to a game three, in which myself and my opponent had made a gentleman's agreement after turns, after, you know, 0, 1, 2, 3. Whoever's winning on prizes wins the match. My opponent was able to again gain the lead. I drew poorly. A little bit of feels bad that I didn't play the extra consistency list that Michael played, but I also don't know if I would have gotten to where I was at that point without the extra Pal Pads and other things in the list, because they did help throughout the day. So I ended up losing my winning in, ending at 5-2-2. Not getting the World's invite, but that, you know, it of course I would have loved to win. And that, you know, everybody wants to win. But at the end of the day, World Championships is not the only reason I'm there. Now, World Championship invite is a large goal. It's a very popular goal for competitive players. But you know, your goal, everybody's goal is different, and I try to convey that a lot within my videos, or at least when I can, and also in coaching sessions, and also in streams when people ask questions. My goal was World Championships, and I missed that goal this year, but I'm just going to come back next year and try again with a fresh season. A portion. Mic check. Where's the mic at? Check, check. My mic went out. Okay, hopefully that wasn't out for too long. So, as I was saying, World Championships is a popular goal, and that was my goal. I missed it this year. I'll come back next year with a fresh season, and I will be trying again for it. And yes, I would have loved to win and get into top 32, or at least have a shot at top 32. But, you know, every match, or most matches that don't have a tie, end up with a winner and a loser. And, you know, sometimes luck is involved, sometimes skill is involved. I can't really say for sure that it wasn't a combination of both for me. I do think I got unlucky in my final match. But there's always chances to sharpen up your player. There's almost always chances to sharpen up your play that you don't see in the moment. It's very hard to play a perfect game of Pokemon every single game throughout the day. So I'm sure there were things that I could have potentially done better to maybe circumvent some of that luck. And so when we're talking about circumventing the luck, that's kind of what I was talking about in the beginning with, you know, I didn't do that many events pre-COVID. I think I had 2 League Cup finishes and 1 League Challenge finish, and then post-COVID, to finish out this season, we had no more local events, so those were points that I couldn't make up. Those 6 or so League Cup finishes and 7 or so League Challenge finishes, that I couldn't make up, but I was trying to not let that hold me back. That's why I was preparing hard for these regionals. You know, I still came up short, but that's okay. I don't regret trying for the invite. And like I said, I am more ready than just as ready as I've ever been to try again next season. It's not that much of a deterrent for me that I missed the World Championships this year, because not everybody can make it. And I wasn't one of the best players this year. And so I will try to be one of the best players next year. Um, but the way I think I go about having this morale is that I love the game and I want to play and I want to compete. And I love competing in the game. And I'm looking forward to the fresh season next year. And I do believe that there could have been a world where maybe I worked harder or I had a more broken deck that helps circumvent the variance in the game or the luck in the game. And potentially different deck choices, different tech choices, playing more solidly uh could have or even, changing uh decisions to ID or changing decisions to gentlemen's agreements, um maybe even making a push to have been able to go to EUIC this year, which I did not attend. um all of these things could have potentially given me a better chance at placing higher at more events or placing higher at one of the events and getting my world championships invite. So I didn't do absolutely everything I could. I didn't go to Salt Lake City, I didn't go to EUIC. So I know there are things that were, I guess, in my power to do that I didn't. And I don't have my world championships invite, and I know there are people that worked harder than me and performed better than me that deserve those world championships invites. So I just wanted to say that I'm not yeah, I would love to go to worlds and I'd love to compete at worlds, but I got some, like, encouraging words on Twitter and from people at NAIC after I did not get my invite, and on Facebook and Discord and everything. And I just wanted to say, I ideally, yes, I would have loved to get my world's invite, but I don't even know that I'd say that I'm disappointed. I'm still excited to help out my team with making decks and testing decks for worlds, and I have content to create. I have other things to do. I have coaching to do. I was really, really stoked. My one of my junior students finished in top 16 and closed out his first ever worlds invite, so I was really, really happy for him. He did a great job. And yeah, so just wanted to kind of talk about my experience with not getting the invite and how I picked my deck and if I had regrets about my deck. Um, Other than that, I had a great time at NAIC, getting to see people I haven't seen for a while, meeting people that I became friends with over the pandemic, meeting new people. I played in side events for the first time since Worlds 2014, I believe. I had a ton of fun in the side events. I played Frostmoth Box. I did 810 damage with a Crabominable V. I had a blast in the side events. I got a plushie Dialga. I thought it was in reaching distance, but it's not. But um yeah, so I had a great time in the side events, got to meet some cool people, had a lot of fun games, and NAIC was just NAIC was a blast. So I had a great time. World Championships invite was not in the cards for me this year, but uh we'll make it happen next year. I'm excited to see a fresh season. Hopefully we get league challenges and league cups announced, and hopefully we get a regional schedule soon. But yeah, look forward to more content from me as always, and congrats to everyone who did close up their invite at NAIC this year. It's a tough tournament. There's a lot of people, and there's only so many places to get points and prizing. So, congrats to everyone who did. And if you're in a similar position as me and you're trying again next year, best of luck. And I will, of course, have plenty of content on the channel uh, leading up to the beginning of next year's season, talking about getting a Worlds invite, what it's like, and how I've done it in the past. Also, congrats to all the top finishers at NAIC, Azul and Isaiah Bradner, obviously some of the best players around right now, and they were just great showcases of the skill that's around in the Masters division of the Pokemon trading card game, being the finalists. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, as always, leave it in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.